Hello. Whoop. Almost knocked over my mic receiver. Hello. Hi. Hello. It's me. I'm back again. One more day of chill painting until I have to be on dad duty for the majority of the day again. My son's daycare is closed on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the day after New Year's. So that means that I do not have the time nor the propensity to stream on those days. He demands my attention fully. So we're going to try to finish these guys up today, which they are almost very nearly done. The mummies, I am doing the hair. Right now we're using some of the ash gray to just add a quick highlight on the hair. And then we'll do the same thing with all the zombies. They've got very, I use the same colors on their hair, so. I hope everybody's out there is having a good day today. On this fine Tuesday. You can tell I need to add some water to the old wet palette there. The paint just a little dry. Ooh, well, that was unfortunate. A lot of my paint just ran, which is fine. I'm not using much of it anymore. Just gotta finish these guys up, and then and the next time we paint, we'll just get new paints. Not a big deal. But I need to make sure the paint that I'm using is wet enough, because it's not really flowing very well off my brush. It's just kind of sticking. which is no good. Yeah, the rest of these colors after this one, minus the metallics, of course, are going to be just on the zombies. Because they have more individual details on them. They have their little sashes and their little shields and swords and boots and all that stuff. So this lovely lady has long hair. Just trying to highlight it. I'm not trying to go nuts. All right, our last zombie. I saw that Golden Maple, they're a company that makes a lot of, they make brushes, or at least that's what I know them from, or I've seen that they make brushes. I haven't tried out any of their brushes, but I may. I saw that they released a painting handle, which looks pretty cool. And it's made of wood, which I'm a big fan of. I prefer wooden finishes to plastic one. I do worry about like it getting like sweat spots on it, but you know, it would be cool to see how it works. Alright, one final highlight on the hair. Just gonna add a dash of this Brigade Gray. Just to like the tips and the very top of the hair. For the mummies, this is gonna be an almost nothing highlight. My Brigade Gray is so thick. It's the only paint that I had to water down significantly after I put it on the wet palette. And I don't know why that is. Probably just because of the paint construction. Let's see, I'm just adding a little bit of this highlight here. This is mostly just a framing device to draw your eye towards the face. Alright, and on the zombies, I'm just going to add a little bit up to the top of the hair.
As I was going over the Cork and Kerry mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol, I then produced my rapier, said stand and deliver, for you are a bold deceiver, musher ring of a doodle-a-da. Whack fall me daddy-o, whack fall
the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the gyro.
his money, it made a pretty penny, I put it in my pocket.
Alrighty. I'm trying to go fast because I'm tired of painting zombies. Alrighty, and one last zombie. That'll be the hair done. And then we'll just do the accents, then the metallics. And then this group will be done. And then we'll do the eyes, and that will be that. Alright, so we're effectively done with the mummies for now. until we finish the details on the zombies. So we'll go ahead and start those. We'll do the brown first. And for that, we will need our old standby. We'll need that later, but where are you? I ordered some wall racks for my paints. So we should be seeing those soon. Curious leather. Love this paint. I think it's like Rhine Oxide, but better. All right, so they've got their shoes here. And their shields. I'm not being too careful of the targe or whatever it is on the shield, because we're going to paint over that with the metallic anyway. Okay. So that's our brown base coat. The shoe. The shield. Zoom in a little bit. I think I'm a little far out today. And then we'll just do the little handle here. Shoe. Their shield. And his little handle here, which I'll probably end up forgetting about mostly. as I tend to do with these guys. Alrighty. And then we'll get that little handle. Alright, so that's it for the male zombie sculpts. Now we'll hit these lady sculpts. And they've got belts on, so that's going to be the primary source of the dark brown here. It's a little difficult to tell what's going on with these alternate zombie sculpts, the female sculpts. Just a little bit. Some of the details are a little muddy, but when they first released HeroQuest, re-released HeroQuest, I should say, the models were all very soft plastic. I have been told that in recent releases, they are much more rigid. This is the handle of their little knives. Also be dark brown. Interesting. I didn't realize that design went all the way down, so we might have to change what that design or what that is on these guys, because it's kind of like a sort of stitching that goes all the way down. So maybe we'll change that up. We'll paint that a different color. Let's paint over the brown that we painted on it. It's not a big deal. Okay, it's all the dark brown. Next, the red. Starting with Berserker Red. And on these fellows, their sashes are going to be this color. And also that little band around their arm. And just for simplicity's sake, I think I'm gonna make this little patch also red. See, and that's where the red's gonna be on the male zombies. And if you remember on the test models that we did, once we get this red painted, we will dull down all the colors on the pants with like a wash. Because these pants are supposed to be kind of rotted and decaying just like they are. And right now they look like very nice clean khakis. They are not supposed to be nice, clean khakis. I'm trying to go fast. Once again, I'm kind of tired of painting zombies and mummies. It's all we've been doing for the past few streams, and I'm ready to move on to something different. Alright, that is all the male pose zombies. Or the male sculpt. So now it's time for the lady zombies. They've got this neat little sort of ragged train here at the bottom. I'm gonna paint that red. So the model isn't just completely brown. And all of this, once again, is going to get dulled down using a wash. So there's not going to be any vibrant colors on this model. Just like on the other zombies. Because they're all very dead. They're all very rotten. So it stands to reason that their clothes would not be bright colors. They would probably be dingy and dirty. Because it stands to reason that up until recently, when they were raised as rotting corpses, do their bidding of their undead masters, that they were in the ground. And they don't have a dry cleaners in when you're dead. At least I don't think so. I missed a spot on the last one. Because, again, these molds aren't fantastic. Some of these details are shallower than others. Alrighty. So that's the first layer of those colors. And then there's one more thing that we need to do with the zombies, and that is their mouths. I'm not going to go nuts with this because they are so small, but they shouldn't be just black gaping maws. So we need to get their tongues, and for this we're using Cold Corpse Blue, which is a great name for a paint. And this was the base color that I used on all of them, but the course of painting got covered up on some, and some of these sculpts are deeper than others, so some of them the tongue just got kind of lost. These ladies, I don't even know if you can see their tongues, but I'm gonna add a little bit in there just to be sure. So we'll go back and do the teeth as well after everything is said and done. Okay. So that's all for that. And then highlights, yes. So for the brown highlight, we're using Ancient Forest. We're just adding this one single highlight of this color. On the test model, I did more, but it also took very long time. And as I said, I'm trying not to spend too much time on these guys. So we're gonna add a little bit of a zoop to the shoe. And then for the shields, we're just going to add some lines for like the just sort of the grain of the shield, the wood. Doing back. Okay, and then we'll just add a touch onto the hilt. That's it for the brown highlight. That's all we're doing for the brown highlight on these suckers. See, I already forgot the little bit on the sword handle. It's really not that important. You can barely see it. Okay, so that is the brown highlights done on the first zombie sculpts. All right, for these ones, I think I'm gonna leave this little strap up here, dark brown. But we will highlight the belt here. Just adding some spots where there would be strain on the belt. Not going too crazy with this. Right. So just get those two little straps up there. Some highlights on the wooden handle. Right here where the belt's buckled at. The edges of the thing that flaps down there, or the remainder of the belt. Scratches on the back here. And there you go. That's all the dark brown highlights for those. Now for the red, again, we're only adding the one highlight, and that is going to be Sanguine Scarlet. Okay. And for this highlight, we're just picking out like the raised parts of the sash here. Try to keep those shadows, you know. There we go. And that's it. Guys, we're so close to being done with these zombies and mummies. I can taste it. Alrighty. Red highlights done there. Time for red highlights here. Alrighty. Okay, so now we finally got these ladies.
Boots and our clothes boys are all in the pawn to me, rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pole, oh heave away, away, hey, roll and go. Our anchor's on board and our cable is stored to me, rollicking randy dandy oh.
We're just kind of hitting the point where the red bits will like would kind of like fall up.
Don't suck your thumbs to me, rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pole, oh heave away, away, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and our cable is stored to me, rollicking randy dandy oh. Rouse to our bullies, the wind's blowing free, away, hey, roll and go. Let's get the glad rags on and drive her to sea to me, rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pole, oh heave away, away, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and our cable is stored to me, rollicking randy dandy oh. We're outward bound for Valleypo Bay, away, hey, roll and go.
Alrighty, that's it for the red highlights. Whew. Now we can do metallics. Because we'll do all their shades at once to let them dry at once. Should we start with... Yeah, let's do the mummies and just do their gold. So we are using dragon's gold, because the mummies have, these lady mummies, that is, they have these barely visible gold necklaces that are kind of draped around them, which makes sense, because if you're going for like an ancient Egyptian style thing, all mummy, or like mummies of significance were like kind of buried with their treasures and stuff like that. That paint is separated somewhat, so I need to mix it a little bit better. You really don't have this problem with the too thin coats paints. There we go. Much better. I just need to shake it a little bit more. There's not a whole lot of gold on these things, but you can see like here, this is a piece of like a gold necklace. And then just barely visible. These little lumps here, just gold. And then you can kind of tell it's the faintest of suggestions on the back of the neck that there is a necklace there. The faintest of suggestions. And see, I didn't even realize it because, like, when I was painting this one, I just painted over it. And there we go. Hey, buddy. How you doing, Alec? Happy late birthday, bud. And thanks for dropping in briefly before heading home to work. We're very nearly done with our undead horde. I'm so ready to be done with them. I've been working on these for a long while. Where is my dwarven iron? There it is. This is going to be our first silver. We're using dwarven iron, a nice dark silver. Now we're just getting the sword. You can barely see it on camera because I'm going underneath the model. And then also we do the bindings around the shield. That's it for the silver on the zombies. Like I said, lastly, we'll do the eyes. And we'll finish up the mouth and tongues. on the zombies. I think it's always the way when I'm batch painting, is that I start off, and especially with like the test models and stuff, I really enjoy painting the first few models and figuring out how I'm going to paint them. And then once we get the first few things going on, I kind of like get into a groove. But then once we've hit like so many streams and I'm just painting the same things over and over and over again, it gets kind of dull. But the good news is this is the last big batch of minis that I'll have to do for HeroQuest. So very much this is the last like big group, the mummies and the zombies, because I could have painted them as two separate squads and then, like, you know, just focused on the mummies, finish those, and then do the zombies. But I wanted to use a lot of the same colors on them. So I thought this would be much more efficient, and then also it would just get a lot of squad painting out of the way. So this will be a huge chunk of the game painted after it's done, and I really will be happy to see it done. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm very proud of the work that we've done, that I've done. You guys didn't do much, but you did something. Emotional support, I love that. And having the stream actually is a great accountability tool for me to get this stuff done. I have a lot of stuff that I have a lot of other things I need to paint, so doing the paint streams at least twice a week is really cutting into my backlog, and I'm loving it. So I'm gonna keep doing that. I want to stream some other things too. I want to do some, I know I've talked about this before, but I want to do some retro RPG streams. So that will be in the near future. It'll probably be at night. What I'm thinking about doing, and if you're listening in the chat, or if you hear about this, or if you're watching the video later on YouTube and you just want to add a comment to the stream, to the stream VOD, whatever. If you're interested in watching some retro RPGs and some other gaming content, please let me know, because that's my other great love, is video games. My two great loves, besides my wife and children, are painting miniatures and playing tabletop games, as well as video games. So I want to do some gaming content as well. And retro RPGs, but also some other stuff. And I think I'll probably stream those at night. Because I think painting at night is great, but I think it's probably going to be a stream that folks will fall asleep to. Which, you know, is okay. But I think that I would get a little too sleepy doing it at night. And I really don't want to get sleepy like that. So, games at night, painting during the day, I think. That's what we'll do. Alright, so that's it for the silver on the male zombie sculpts, or the first silver. After we apply the shades and stuff like that, we'll have other silvers to paint. Okay, so for these ladies, they're just going to have their daggers. And their belt buckles. So that's all that's going to be silver on them. Paintbrush is drying out a little bit.
Once I loved with fond affection, one
Okay.
whose thoughts were
So that's it for silver.
until there came a dreary
Some cryptid figures. Well, I would love to paint some cryptid figures. I have my next things I'm going to paint probably from HeroQuest are kind of like cryptids. They're swamp monsters. They're like they're called abominations. So that's gonna be next, and so you're kind of getting your wish. All right, so we're gonna be using Overlord brass for the hilts and the targes on the first zombie sculpts.
I loved with fond affection, one whose thoughts were dear to me, until there came a dreary parting. Nevermore he'll speak to me.
I'm trying not to get too much of this on the shield itself. Okay. I'm trying to go fast, but I'm also trying to be careful. So I don't want to get too messy. So I don't want to have a ton of bronze where there doesn't need to be bronze. Know what I mean? All right, buddy, burb away. Okay, that's 2. All right, just one more of these. Nope. We got the pommel. Oh, that was messy. I didn't want to get more paint out of the thing, but I think I'm gonna have to. I'm running low on this color. Okay. I'm just gonna do a quick there. Okay. Alrighty, and then the bronze, I think I've decided that the stitching going down the middle is going to be bronze on these lovely violent ladies. Okay. All right. Now, ooh, cheap viewers. Sorry, table. Hot damn. Hey, Johnny Mock Builds. It's going good. Welcome on in. Thank you. I'm glad they look great. We're about to dull everything up with some shades here. So, if you weren't here when I painted the test models, this is what I did with these. We've got these lovely vibrant reds and whatnot. We're gonna dull those right down. We're gonna use some Agrax Earthshade, and we're gonna use this as our shade for all the metals, of course, because they're old and gross, but we're also going to shade the red and the pants with it because we want to dull those colors right down. We do not want them to look clean and bright and shiny and new. And I also just do it on the wood just because it's already brown. It's not going to hurt it. And also it'll get into some of those little like very shallow details where there's like the wood slats. And I don't want it to pool too much, so I'm just moving it out of places where it might pool. And we'll leave that to dry. Okay. All right. Just getting the shade. Again, trying to keep it from pooling. And I guess this is a bit of a noob technique. I don't know. But I'm not really using it to like get into the details, I suppose. I'm using it to just dull these bright colors down. Because I'm not going to go through and highlight again. Because I want these colors to be dull and not very vibrant, which is the same thing. I just want them to be to look old. And the easiest way to do that is to shade it with brown. And then I'm going to add a few highlights to the metallics, but I won't add any highlights to like the reds and stuff like that. That won't get highlighted. Okay. So that's all that sculpt of zombies done. So now we got the lady zombies. Same thing with them. Okay. Make sure I get the blade. Don't really need to get the handle, but it's there, so. Okay. Kind of grab him by the head. Okay. Let's get that blade. Very Frankenstein-esque music we've got going on here. Alrighty. Okay. So these are drying. And now we actually have a couple of metallics we need to hit on these mummies here. So these lovely golden necklaces. Gonna hit them with some of this Agrax Earthshade. Really don't have very much of it on them, so not much I have to do with that. It's mostly just give them a little definition. Okay. Cool. So that's all the shades. Whew, I am warm. It's actually kind of cool today, so that's why I'm wearing my hoodie, my Dippin' Dice hoodie. But yeah, I just waiting for those to dry a little bit. Thinking to myself, thinking what I want to do next. I need to do the teeth for and the tongues for the zombies. But do I want to do that next? Do I want to wait till do those when I do the eyes? It doesn't take a ton of time for this shade to dry. So. Give me a second to take a break and have a think. I might take off my hoodie while I'm thinking, so bear with me. Okay. I got my hat back on, so I'm decent. All right. Let's check and see. This is the first guy I did. Yeah, he's dry. So we'll go ahead and we'll just add our quick metallic highlights here. And then we'll finish these guys off. All of them. We'll do the eyes and the mouth and the teeth on the rest of these Zambos. So good times. Okay, so we'll just do the silver highlights. We're using Surcoat Silver. A Gregorian chant. All right. Not really what I'm interested in right now. Okay. So we're gonna add some Surcoat Silver. We don't want these silver highlights to shine per se. We want to create a little bit of shine on them so that the parts that are sharp stand out. But we definitely want them to be old looking. Oh, that's the wrong brush. I was like, why am I not getting the point that I want? It's because it's the wrong brush. There we go. So we're add a little bit to the middle, to the edges. And we'll add some scratches on the blade. And we'll add some highlights of the band here. Some scratches across the top. On bottom there. And then I'm pretty much going to ignore the underside because you can't see it anyways. But we'll add a few more scratches here. And there, that's going to be it for the silver highlights. Some scratches to the blade. Again. This part should go pretty quickly. just being extra careful that I don't get too messy with the silver. So we don't want silver or we don't want silver. Know what I mean? Okay, that's it for the silver on those zombie sculpts. And then for these ones, a little bit of a highlight to the belt, just so that we know it's there. And then we'll add some on the blade. And then we'll add a few rough scratches. Just to make it look like the blade's got some wear and tear on it. And that's it for the silver highlights. Okay, and that's it. All right, and lastly, do a little highlight of gold on the shields and the hilts. The smallest highlight of gold. Just a suggestion that, hey, maybe at one point in time, these particular weapons had gold ornamentation on them. So we just add a little bit of that there. And that's it. That's all we're doing there. It's just like, hey, at one point this weapon might have been gold. But now it's all gross and tarnished to the ages. I don't know if that's how gold works. Okay, buddy. Have a safe trip. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing for the trimming on these lovely Violent Ladies jackets. At one point, this was a much more ostentatious outfit, but no longer. Now it has lost some of its luster. Alright. That's it for the metallics. What about the mummies? Do I want to... Yeah, we'll add a little bit of a gold highlight on these. And for that, we're going to use glistening gold. There is not we will not use a whole lot of this. This is a very much a let's highlight kind of color. Alright, so we're just gonna add a little bit here. The shiny bits. Just to make them shine. Okay. A barely perceptible amount, I would say. Almost like I could have not done it at all. But I did it anyway. There we go. All right. Now, that's pretty much it for the baseline colors and stuff like that. Now we just need to do the eyes. My palette is a mess, so I'm going to get a new piece of paper so I don't infect these, or so I have enough room to do these colors. Give me just a moment. Just throwing away my old palette paper. Sponge needs to be laid flat. I'm going to actually dump out some of this water here. There's a lot of paint in it. So we will get some fresh water for that too. Interesting little film builds up on my wet palette for some reason. This is one of those things that's like, it's kind of weird. If you're just tuning in, I'm just attending to my wet palette. So give me just a moment. It's got this sort of like filmy sort of thing that it does, and I don't really know why. And I'm thinking it's something that's just in the sponge that I can't get out. I've wrung these things out so many times to try to get this little like gummy substance out. And this is the second sponge that I've had that's done it, so it might also just be the wet palette itself. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is, and that's... I just have to deal with it, kind of. It doesn't really affect the paint that much. I know sometimes it makes it a little drier and gummier, but nothing too crazy. All right. So now we add water. I use only the finest Publix distilled water. For my wet palettes. Why distilled water, you ask? Well, just because it is, there's no mold in it, or you're less likely to have mold build into it if you use distilled water. Filling up my little squirt bottle here. Because I may need to re-wet the palette at some point. Yeah, the penny in the bottom. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Winner's Basset. And that helps with mold and stuff. So, but mine is like, I don't know if it's like some sort of, oh gosh, my beard was sticking to my microphone. Mine is like some sort of like almost soapy kind of looking buildup, but that doesn't make any sense because I don't use any soap with it, but whatever. One day I'll figure it out, or I won't. Whenever I replace the water, it seems to fix it, so. It also might just be like paint or medium gets in the water and causes it to get all tacky and stuff. All right. So my wet palette is sorted now. I use, this is something that I learned watching Vince Venturella. I don't know if you guys know him, Vincey V, on YouTube. You probably know him if you know anything about miniature painting. I use mechanics towels for like my paint and my water and stuff like that, and for like drying off my brush. They're a little easier on your brushes. They're not quite as harsh. And they're a little more absorbent. So I use those instead of just regular paper towels. Yeah, I get the mysterious primordial, like, film, like, on the, it's in, like, the sponge, and it's, like, and, once I pull up the paper, you'll see it, like, ugh, what is this? Is this some sort of microorganism? Should I be worried? That's what I get on there, so. Alright. But I'll figure it out one day. All right, so we're going to do the eyes next on all of our guys. And the reason why I cleared off my wet palette for this is because I'm gonna need like little I'm gonna need like small amounts of paint. What fell off of my desk? Oh, a paint. Oh. Orange. I'm using Wizard Gray for the bottom of the eyes. Yeah, it is pretty gross, and I can't really take credit for the distilled water. Winner's Basset or Owen, I don't know how I should pronounce your name, but I got that tip from Ninjon on YouTube. Most of the tips and tricks that I've learned from painting, I've learned from other YouTube painters, and have stolen them and made them my own, which all good artists do. If you don't already follow like Ninjon and Vincy V and Miniac and people like that, then I highly suggest it. So we are using Wizard Gray to try to get these eyes. These eyes on these mummies are... Yeah, well, people pop in and out, Owen. But the painting station, yeah, you can see it when I clean it up. Right now, it's kind of a mess. I ordered some wall-mounted nail racks for my paint. So they should be getting here in the next few days, and then I can finally clean everything up. Yep. But yeah, I gotta organize the old painting setup again. Already did that one. But I'll line these guys up back here. Alrighty. Okay. So all the mummy eyes. They only have one eye, so that makes it really easy. You'll have to forgive me for being a little quiet because I'm trying to focus. Oh, well, thank you. For each mini, I would say, oops. I gotta show you guys what I'm doing. I can't just hide them off screen. For each mini, I would say probably about 3 hours per. So I did the test models for these zombies and mummies first, And I spent more time on these. Well, thank you very much, On. I spent more time on these than I have the ones that I'm currently painting. And these two took me about 3 hours to do together. I would say, roughly. But the only real timing I have is the length of my streams. And those have been shorter as of late. I think I already did this one. All right. I flooded that one a little bit, but it's fine. All right, here's the real trick. These ones, it's gonna be an interesting sort of you can see their eyes pretty well if you look at them. Eyes are very hard. And I'm being very extra with these eyes for no reason other than that's just the kind of person that I am. Okay. So that's the first part of the eyes. Believe it or not, just the first part. There we go. Now you can see my beautiful face. All right, and then we're going to follow up with a little bit of ash gray. This is a little bit of a step up. I don't want to create too sharp of a contrast. I want to kind of create a gradual thing with the eye. Because I'm going to go over these with a contrast paint. And I want to create sort of a glowing effect. And it won't work if it's just one color. Or it won't work as well as I like, I should say. Because I'm a crazy person. So the wizard gray that we started with is just sort of like the bed or the socket of the eye. And this is more of the first start of the glow. I got gold paint on my fingers somehow. I know exactly how, because I put this on my palette paper that was over here, and there was still some wet gold paint on there. So that's fun. Okay. Just these two lovely ladies left of the mummies alive. Does anybody remember the Mummies Alive, the TV show? That was a show. It was about a kid who discovers these mummies and finds out that he's the. It was an animated show, I should say. He discovers that he's the reincarnation of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. And these mummies are like his guardian warrior type things. And every Saturday morning they got into, you know, hijinks and shenanigans. Mostly like, you know, 90s, saving the world against corporate oligarchs kind of stuff. That was Mummies Alive. Okay. Okay. We are nearing the end of painting these zombies, as well as nearing the end of the stream. Zombies and mummies, I should say. Very close to the end of both. Okay. Last. Please. And then we just got one final thing for the eyes before we apply the contrast paint. Again, I'm a crazy person. You do not have to do this for your batch painted minis. I tend to do too much. All right, last up is going to be straight up white. We're using White Star. I like this white paint more than I like any other white paint. There's a... Come on. I can't remember. There's a dark gray that, like, people swear... Or there's a gray that people swear by that's pretty much white. But The two-thing coats white I haven't had any problems with. White is one of those paints that is like, it could be great, or it could be a huge pain in the ass. And the only thing that we know is you definitely don't buy white from Citadel, from Games Workshop, because it is garbage. I made that mistake when I first started mini painting. I got white and I was like, oh, this is bad. And I didn't even know what bad paint was back then. I was just like, why is the paint like this? I don't think the paint should be like this. Should the paint be like this? I can't use this paint. And I could not. I tried for a long time, could not get it to work. And then wet my brush a little bit. This is appropriate music for painting eyes because you can screw it up so well. So epic. Okay. Alrighty. Really done with the eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Everything else in between. little bit of a paint here. I can get rid of that easily enough. Okay, there we go. Whew. All right, the most nerve-wracking part of doing the eyes is over. All right, now we use the contrast paint. So we're going to use 2 contrast paints. We're going to use them one after the other while they're still wet. We're not going to... This is my sign-off song, so we can't do that one just yet. There we go. So we use 2 contrast paints. We're going to use Corandrus Green and follow it up immediately with Imperial Fist. So I'll have both of these on my dry palette, and I'll just move my brush from one to the other, and that will give me the desired effect. We'll start back here. Move our way down. Now we'll use the small brush again. So we apply the Corandrus Green. Immediately wash off my brush. Grab some of the Imperial Fist. And then we just apply that on there. And it gives us sort of a yellowy green glow to the eye. If my computer will, or if my camera will autofocus. Kind of hard to see on camera. At least with these ones it is. So, it's not much of a technique, but it's a technique. So it's a little bit of this. Again, rinse it off. A little bit of the other one. And there we go. Easy glowing eyes. That one's a little bit easier to see it on. A little bit. Oh, that was way too much of that on my brush. go. That's all the mummies done. And now, the zombie. I know, dear. My wife is telling me that it's time for me to stop painting. But I'm going to finish this off. And I'll probably finish off the teeth and tongue off stream. Just because I don't feel as if I should bore you all with that. But I will post the finished undead horde. That includes the skeletons that I painted the last time I was painting on stream. Or not last time, but the last big block of dudes that I've painted. Which were skeletons. I will post all of that on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you will always find finished models that I've painted on there. It is at Blue Wizard Studio on Instagram. So follow me on there. That's where I post pictures of all my finished models. Okay. Because I will also probably do the basing for these fellows off stream as well, because basing's kind of boring. It's just me slurping texture paint on the bottom of them, because I don't do anything fancy, whoops, for the bases on these figures, because they're all for a board game and they're going to get moved around.
She drinks gin and I drink rum, and together there don't we have fun? And it's old brown ale, old brown beer, bonny little brown jug that I love steer. If I had a cow that would give such milk, I'd dress her up all in the finest silk, feed her on the best of hay, and I'd milk her 7 times every day. And it's old brown ale, old brown beer, bonny little brown jug that I love steer. And if my brown jug it was in jail, I'd pawn me shirt and get it out on bail. If me friends did me despise, well I'd up with me fist and I'd black their eyes. And it's old brown ale, old brown beer, bonny little brown jug that I love steer. In comes the land, jovial and fat, he's got on his pig feathered hat. He serves your beer till his cellar runs dry, and he don't give a damn if you live or die. And it's old brown ale, old brown beer, bonny little brown jug that I love steer. Now the brewer brews it in the can, and the landlord serves it up in the pan. As for me, I'll do me part, and I'll keep strong ale next to me heart. And it's old brown ale, old brown beer, bonny little brown jug that I love steer. And it's old brown ale, old brown beer, bonny little brown jug that I love steer.
Okay. All right. Whew. That's it. Oh, not me just dropping my smallest, most delicate brush on the floor. Not me. I definitely didn't do that. What would give you that impression? Well, that's quite the successful stream. I should say. So, just to recap, the mummies and zombies are basically finished. The zombies, I need to do their teeth and their tongues, but I will do that off stream. It's not very exciting, not very interesting to see either. So, yeah, we'll do that. All right. But the mummies are 100% done. So I'm going to take you all on a little trip here. Woo! Whew. All right. Swapping screens. There we go. Cool. So, well, that was fun. We got most of it done. Yeah, so I think we're doing a good job. I think we're doing great here, honestly, because this is the last big mob of HeroQuest monsters that I have to paint. And then we're moving on to, let me put my my sign-off song here. I always play this when I leave, for obvious reasons, as you will find. So there you go. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out and everything in between, I should add. I'm very hot right now. There's light bearing down on me, as you can probably imagine. And this hat does nothing to help with that. So, but thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I have been loving these painting streams recently. Glad people are popping in, chatting. YouTube was popping today, as I can see. So that was nice. So just a quick recap. We are done with the zombies and the mummies. So next time we'll be painting something completely different. That'll be next week. Probably Monday. We'll go back to Monday, Thursday streams. Streaming in the mornings or afternoons, like noon to around now, 3:30 is about time when it's probably about 1 to 3:30 is usually when I try to get these things kicking off, because that's just the way it works out. But yeah, I've been having a ton of fun doing this, and I hope you guys had a ton of fun hanging out with me. And next time we'll do something a little bit different, and we'll see what that is when we get started. I think it's going to be the abominations from the new HeroQuest set. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you next time.
My grave both wide and deep, wide and deep. Put tombstones at my head and feet, and on my breast carve a turtle dove to signify I died of love. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let the parting grieve thee. Remember that the best of friends must part, must part. Adieu, adieu, kind friends, adieu, adieu, adieu. I can no longer stay with you, stay with you. I'll hang my harp on a weeping willow tree, and may the world go well with thee.